We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila's Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's Rebirthing Program, as well as Jamila's Sense, and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Greetings, everyone. Welcome again to another wonderful episode of Gray Lives on the Rise. And I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin. And we are so honored today to have King-Shon Freeman to give us his pearls of wisdom about his life's journey and the things that he would like to inform us about. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful episode. So thank you for joining. And as always, I'm going to give you a little bit introduction about who I am. I am the host and creator of Gray Lives on the Rise. This came about 2 years ago. No, 3, because we're on our 103rd episode with King-Shon. So about 3 years ago, I was walking, and I got this download from Spirit that said, there's nothing out there that addresses people who are 50 plus. There's nothing really out there except Medicare and AARP in America. And I thought about it, and I said, it's true. And the information just kept coming into my crown chakra. And I said, wow, okay, so it was like the ancestors were telling me, and Spirit was telling me, you need to do something about that. And I said, oh, okay. I had a Blog Talk radio show about 5 years ago, and I was not really trying to do this again. But anyway, it said you need to have a name for it. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement. A name for it. You need to have people relanguage how they refer to themselves. You need to have a store and then a podcast. So I thought about it, and I said, Gray Lives Matter. I said, no, that didn't really resonate with me. And then I said, okay, it came Gray Lives on the Rise. And I said, yeah, that's it. Because you don't have to have gray hair. You don't have to have hair, period. It's a consciousness. And for people who are 50 plus, because when you get in that age group, people tend to dismiss you and tend to think that you are on a slow bus, and we're far from being on the slow bus. So I said, yeah. And the next thing was, we need to see, relanguage how we refer to ourselves. We're not elderly. We're not over the hill. We're not brain dead. We're none of those things. We are alive. We are vibrant. We're active. We're seasoned. We're mature, and we're golden. And then the next thing was, you need to have a store. You need to have a store to market the merchandise so people can feel empowered when they wear the merchandise. And it will also give a signal to others that we are proud of who we are. So I have on the shirt, Gray Lives on the Rise. And King-Shon has ordered the shirt, and it will be coming very soon. We have mugs, we have t-shirts, we have sweatshirts, we have everything you can name. And the other thing that came to my consciousness was, we need to have a podcast to talk about issues that affect people 50 plus globally. This is a global podcast. I've had people on from Serbia, from Costa Rica, Haiti, the Philippines, Jamaica, the UK, the United Arab Emirates, the Netherlands, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, and America, of course. So, and everyone said the same thing, that when they became 50, people tend to dismiss them. So I said, we're going to change that. And so that's how it came about. Now, I am uh, an award-winning author. I have my own clinical practice in terms of psychology. I've been counseling people for over 30 years, and I'm a certified Reiki master, certified metaphysician, certified aromatherapist, college professor of psychology, and I have my own modality called healing ancestral trauma. So that's it for me. And now we have to pay the bills. So one of my companies is the one that's supporting this podcast. It is called Jamila Sense. So with this, and my number one seller is Peace Be Still. And it gets rid of, you see how transparent it is. It gets rid of stress, anxiety, depression, sinus congestion, sinus headaches, migraine headaches, PTSD, any stressor, menopausal issues, postmenopausal issues, and flies of mosquitoes won't come near you, okay, because they don't like the aroma. So go to my website, you put it in your hands, and then you breathe in 10 times, and you rub it on your arms, the rest of your body, and voila, you are free of any stress and you're free of bugs. So go to our website to find out more about Gray Lives on the Rise. The website is oyendeenterprises.com, and it's spelled O like an orange, Y like in young, I like in independent, N like in neighbor, D like in dog, E like in elephant. Oyende Enterprises, ENTERPRISES.com. And you will see all of my businesses, because I also have my own institute, but you will see Gray Lives on the Rise at the top. That's my latest baby. Go in, click on it, and if you're interested in being a guest, you can click on the information and send me a request form so we can have a discovery call. So now that I've done the infomercial part, we're going to get to the information about our wonderful guest today. Okay. King-Shon L. Freeman Sr., an African American and Native American of New Bern, North Carolina, student teacher of the Master Dr. Malachi York, is an author, whole health coach, visionary, philanthropist, community activist, minister, consultant, writer, historian, and co-founder of the His Innocence Project organization. Website. Shon was born in New Bern, North Carolina. At 16 years old, he moved to Washington, D.C. He started his search for truth as a Christian. In the late 80s, he joined the Nation of Islam, then soon received his X. Because in the Nation of Islam, what happens is that you do not maintain or retain the name of your enslaved oppressor. Okay. Afterwards, he joined the Asaro.
Ansar.
Oh, Ansara. I'm sorry, I'm reading this. I'm having to scroll it because it did all come through. Ansara Allah community under the leadership of as Sayyid Al Imam Isa. Okay, you can read the rest of the name. Also known as Dr. Malachi York. As a member of his Innocence Project website, he advocates. See, I have to scroll over because it didn't all come through the way it normally does. He advocates for the freedom of Dr. Malachi York while safeguarding Dr. York's name, work, and legacy. King-Shon learned about the life of politics as a young adult. At the age of 24, he became one of the youngest adults, that's impressive, to run a political campaign. He served as campaign manager in Ward 8, Southeast Washington, D.C., for the late Richard A. Miller, successfully capturing 6% of the vote, losing to Marion Barry on November 4th, 1981. He later began studying world religions and became a health advocate and entrepreneur. He is an organizer and life coach with emphasis on the areas of coaching adults, returning citizens, convicted felons, and at-risk youth. He has over 15 years experience as a whole health coach. King-Shon's workshops cater to physical, mental, and spiritual health. He also brings holistic workshops to convicted felons and the homeless population. After watching his loved one transition from poor health care and at-risk lifestyles, he created a formula, a concept he calls the 7 doctors. This is going to be a very good interview. King-Shon Freeman is also a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the West End, the Holy Ghost headquarters. He's a proud father and loving father of 6. Varisha Freeman, Assad Freeman, Allende Freeman, Aliyah Freeman, Mary Freeman, and Subira Freeman. Shon now lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and continues to serve humanity and help take care of Mama, or Gaia, this planet. Okay? So welcome, King Shon. After having some technical difficulties earlier and the bio all over the page, which just having to make some adjustments, but all is well. So how are you?
I'm doing well, and I thank you for bringing me back in balance, in peace, because that was really disturbing my spirit trying to get this Zoom thing going. So we're
Oh
on. I'm on,
yeah. Yeah,
and
well, when we see lemonade, it's when we have lemons, we create lemonade, you know? And so, and Mercury is retrograde, which means things are going to look very interestingly. But
yeah.
it's a time to rest, recover, recuperate, and rejoice. And
And thank you for having me on this platform, Professor Franklin. It's a pleasure to be here. I thank my Heavenly Father, the Earthly Mother, the ancestors, my personal Savior, Jesus Christ, and the Master Teacher of this day and time, Dr. Malachi Z. York. I'm just honored to be on your platform, and I look forward to working with you in the future as well.
oh, I say, thank you for the kind words, and I'm so impressed and delighted that you chose to be on the podcast and that we can have people really know more about who you are and how they can benefit from you as an author, as a political activist, as a spiritual leader. So let's get started.
Okay.
So you were born in North Carolina, South
Yeah.
Carolina? Yeah, North
And
Carolina. So what was it like for King Shon growing up?
well, two-parent household, of course. My biological father, him and my mom, they separated when I was at a young age. He became a Sunni Muslim. The Actually the first imam in New Bern, North Carolina. That's like a pastor or a preacher, but he became
Mhm.
imam in New Bern, North Carolina, and that was in the '70s. And I grew up with a lot of abandonment issues, of course, like most children do. But my mother, she was very what's the word for it? she put a lot of emphasis in making sure that I had a relationship with my father. So even though my mom moved in another state, she still made efforts to make those phone calls to my dad, um, so I could know him as a son and father, and we have developed a relationship over the years.
Mm.
Uh, and that was I'm so happy she did that because I had a whole lot of questions, and he was able to answer those questions, and that really helped out a great deal.
That's wonderful. Do you have other siblings?
Yeah, I had a my brother, my older brother. He's 2.5 years older than yeah, about 2.5 years older than I am. That was with my biological dad and my mom. He transitioned in 1994. Um,
Oh.
yeah, that was the life of drugs, crime, and violence in DC in the 80s. That's the lifestyle we lived back then. And I went through a very traumatic experience, having to see his body in the morgue, and then having to repeat seeing this body again at the funeral. It was traumatizing, of course, at the young age. And back then, psychiatrists just wasn't available to people of color back then. So, we had to go through to our grandparents and great grandparents. They were the psychologists and the psychiatrists back then for us.
Mm.
So, yeah, so that was a ordeal. I lost another sister, younger sister, to alcoholism.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, she was in her late 30s or early 40s. I think alcohol affects women differently. I don't know why, because I was an alcoholic back then. So, and it didn't, I don't know why it didn't happen to me, but through God's grace, I lived through that. And I have two other sisters. I have one in New York and another younger sister in the DMV, the District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia area.
hmm hmm So you're the only male child that
Yeah.
survived.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that must have been an awesome kind of responsibility, being a Black male, just period, and then being the sole survivor of alcoholism and your brother having transitioned because of drugs in a very interesting lifestyle that he encountered because of the environment. And so after you saw all of that, you said that you became an alcoholic, but you transitioned out of that. What was the pivotal moment that had you transition from that lifestyle?
I could say he was called Imam Isa back then, also known as Dr. Malachi Z. York. I got a hold of one of his books. Um, it was called a Revelation book. It was a blue Revelation book. And it's ironic, it's funny. My mom, she's a diehard evangelist Christian. She actually gave me the book she purchased from a yard sale. And
Mm,
that book just changed my life. It just opened me up to a whole new horizon of just a new way of thinking.
mhm,
I was always taught that, Genesis was the beginning. This is Adam and Eve. That whole story, the whole monotheistic religion story of Adam and Eve, and
mhm,
he just tore it to pieces. He just said, "No, that's not true. They weren't the first people on the planet," and he just went in, and that just that just changed my mind. I had an aha moment at that moment.
mhm, mhm. So, and you were still living in the DC area when that happened.
I
Yeah.
was still in the area. And that just gave me I guess, the courage to go more in depth and research and explore, investigate my search in the truth.
hmm So at the same time, you were becoming politically active in the DC area
Yes, at
in
the same
terms of running a campaign for the person that was running against
time, Barry.
Mary, yeah, Marion Barry.
Yeah, for those
So,
who are not aware, DC was called Chocolate City back then, and
Mm-hmm.
Barry was the mayor. We still call him the DC's mayor, even though
Mm-hmm.
he's transitioned. So my friend and I, the late Richard A. Miller, he decided to run against him. This is after he was released from prison,
Mm-hmm.
and our theme was empowering our youth. We were young, and we were trying to get our name recognition out there. So we knew we were going to lose, but we just wanted to get our name and to just bring out the problems that we were having as young African American men growing up in the inner city.
Mm-hmm.
So we just was trying to bring that awareness to the people, and they heard our voice, and of course Marion Barry, he heard it as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I My godbrother is Marion Barry's nephew. We grew up together.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, we're from Memphis, so I'm familiar with the late Marion Barry. But I think that that was really commendable for you as a young person to launch this campaign that was directed primarily at young people who had some uh,
Yeah, we had issues back
interesting,
then.
interesting backgrounds and who wanted to bring light to their plight. So I think that was very, very commendable. And so it seems like at the same time you were weaving in and out of these wonderful experiences, you were raised, I guess, as a Christian originally, and then you became Muslim, and now you're Seventh-day Adventist.
I
So,
was a Nuwabian, still a Nuwabian. Nuwabian is not a religion, but I still call myself a Nuwabian.
oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Well, my late great big brother, whom we both know, Zakur,
oh
was
yeah,
Zakur was a well-known Nuwabian. He and
yeah,
his wife, at the time, Tahita. So yeah, I'm familiar with some of the principles because he was like my spiritual big brother.
yeah.
And at the time, walk us through these different paths because it seemed like you were doing things concurrently. You were a political activist. You were connected to Dr. Malachi York. You were um, educating young youth youth that had been in prison that were coming out of prison. So what led you from, and then you became a Nuwabian, which is not a religion, but it's a cultural community that supports identity in terms of being people. I call us Al-Qaebans because that's our original name. So what brought you to each of those phases, and how were you able to, because you were transformed, but how were you able to teach other people about this, and were they open and receptive to these different philosophies, which ran counter to the, which, yeah, ran counter to what we're experiencing in America today in terms of groupthink. A lot of people believed in the fallacy and believed in the racism in this country, what they had been taught. And what you were teaching through Dr. Malachi York brand counter to everything people had learned growing up. The Nation of Islam ran counter to everything the Christians had learned growing up. The Nuwabian belief, all of these things were shaking up the community. So how were people receiving you?
Pretty well. Back then, we call it propagating or peddling, where we walk the streets. And, this is, I guess, the idea of becoming self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, waking our people up. So,
Mm-hmm.
we were selling incense oils and the books, audio, cassette tapes back then, and the tapes as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting. I loved it. I just love just walking and pelling the streets. I love that grassroots thing, even in the politics. I love the grassroots. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and the beautiful thing about what we call Nuwapu is, and I really thank Dr. York for this. He didn't teach us what to think. He taught us how to think. Um,
Mm-hmm.
And when we process information, we use, we call right knowledge, right understanding, and right wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
which, we call evidence, experience, and wisdom. We
Mm-hmm.
apply to everything. So we don't believe, we try to know things. And we know things by researching, researching it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I love using my own lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my mom used to say, if you ain't been through nothing, you can't teach me nothing. My mom used to say that
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So I just try to apply and utilize my own lived experience when I'm out teaching and educating. We don't call them convicted felons. We use the language returned citizens.
I like that. I like.
Yeah, I'm a certified peer specialist, um, and that's someone who's been diagnosed that also has uh, a mental health diagnosis, and you could be doing diagnosed or not. But mine was depression. Um,
Mm.
and I dealt with that pretty much after my brother transitioned.
So yours was situational depression,
Yeah.
not chemical depression. And people need to make a distinction between the two because a life-altering event like the transition of your brother would normally make one feel depressed. So
Okay.
it was the situation as opposed to some people have a chemical depression, which means that there is something going on within their blood. And you have a blood test and it will detect that there's a missing hormone that's causing a person not to
Interesting.
see things clearly.
That one, Professor. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so that's how that's the transformations I was having back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
So
before I forget, if I can give the audience, the listeners, the website address,
sure, sure.
uh, because there were many platforms that um, from disgruntled ex-members and agitators of Dr. York. So we developed this website to basically safeguard the name and the work and legacy of Dr. Malachi Z. York. And that website address is
Mm-hmm.
www.hisinnocenceproject.org. Again, that's
Genesis.
hisinnocenceproject.org. And we have monthly conference calls as well. We have one coming up on August 1st at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
That number is 480-660-5319.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 480-660-5319. And the access code is 643-519.
Okay.
Okay. And because there's a movement growing and rising globally. Because he's been in there over 20 years now. So people are like, okay, let's bring this old man home. He's one of the elders. Let's try not to have him, make transition in there. Let's try to get him on out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to just share that real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks for sharing. So you're one of the primary people spearheading the movement to bring him to
Yes,
bring uh back home.
yes, through that website, His Innocence Project, and brother Charles Fuller. He's actually I call him the grand architect. He's putting all the videos and a lot of the content in their particular place on the website. And again, his name is Charles Fuller out of Orlando, Florida.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um,
We have a power walk event that's August 9th, and that's in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's on the West Side Beltline. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
mm-hmm.
The walk is only 3.2 miles. Um, we're going to do that. We're going to meet in front of the food hall in West End Beltline. Um, we're going to raise our hands to the sun. We're going to touch the trees and grab the trees and tell the trees how much we love them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know they respond. You know,
Yeah,
there are people who've done videos by standing near trees and they tell
Oh,
them that they love them and have the trees respond, and the branches come and touch them on the shoulder or on the head. Oh
I
yeah,
should.
everything on this planet is living. Our Mother Gaia is living.
Yes, yes. And we're gonna breathe in the fresh air. And then we're gonna take the walk. Then we're gonna come back to my apartment, and I'm gonna have free smoothies, fruit smoothies, provided for everyone that participated in the walk.
Hmm.
And we're gonna have probably like a 20 or 30 minute health and wellness workshop as well.
Okay, so is that going to be in your apartment?
Well, it's gonna be outside. I have a fence and trees and a grass area in
Hmm.
front of the apartment. So and it's fenced in, so it should be pretty nice.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, wonderful. So what are you doing in addition to working on having Dr. Malachi York released from prison?
What was the question again about the release?
What are you doing in addition to your advocacy for having Dr. Malachi York released from prison? Are you doing things in addition to that?
Yeah, so we're doing the monthly. The Power Walk is going to be a monthly event.
Hmm.
I'm not going to be providing the free smoothies on every event, but that's going to be a monthly event where I have flyers made up. So we're just bringing about awareness because a lot of people we found out don't really know about the case because it was actually a closed courtroom, and
Hmm.
and they withheld the transcripts for a
Hmm.
very week just recently have them and transcripts tell a different story. It's a different narrative when you have the transcripts. So we
Hmm.
do the transcripts and we're educating the public and giving the public the truth from our perspective because
Hmm.
we got the perspective of the media, social media, the news, other people out there, they give their perspective. So we're giving our perspective now,
Hmm.
which is the truth.
Wonderful. So are you doing other things in addition to working on his case? You have other ventures that you're doing?
We just started the website this year, so everything is growing. So we're just letting the ancestors use us right now for the next step.
Hmm. Hmm. So I saw that you are an author. What what have you published, and what's the content of the
This is the
information?
best part of the interview of this podcast. This is my baby, Professor, called The Seven Doctors. Um,
Hmm.
I actually got the concept, not the content, but the concept from Erica Badu. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, so, and I based the seven doctors from our seven chakras, which we all know are the energy centers of the body.
Hmm.
I'm gonna reveal only three because I don't want to
Okay.
reveal too much because people won't buy the book if that happens. So the first doctor I used, and I used Dr. Muata Ashby. I took from Dr. Muata Ashby, Dr. Sabi, Queen Afua, who else? Dick Gregory, uh,
Mm.
Annette Larkins, who's the youth. I feel like she's done uh, figured out a way to, I guess, be ageless at her age. She looks like she's in her 20s, but she's in her 80s now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
took from all of these great teachers. Some of them transitioned now, they're ancestors, but I took a little bit from each one of them to come up with the formula, the concept, which I call the seven doctors. The
Hmm.
first doctor is the root doctor we know in the chakra. I call Dr. Fitness. Dr. Fitness is something that we should eat red because that's the color of Dr. Fitness, Dr. Root Doctor. So we
Hmm.
should eat red vegetables, red fruits, because that helps us and it empowers that chakra within us.
Hmm.
Um, and grounding ourselves. Take your shoes and socks off. Walk on the grass. Walk on
Hmm.
Mama. Walk on Gaia. Because stay away from the cement and concrete because that drains our energy.
Hmm.
Um, and I always say that stay moving, because when we move and walk, we actually age slower when we
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
Movement, movement is medicine.
Yeah.
To do things and become active, we actually decrease our aging process.
Yeah. And it reverses it too. Whenever
Yeah.
you
So
eat
when we don't
clean
move, the
and
less the
yeah,
less we move, we age faster.
very true.
So we have to keep moving. You ever heard people say, "Yeah, when this person just retired and then they died."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so
because they become inactive. And then that's the reason why I have my podcast too, because when you become over 50, sometimes your family members can be your worst enemy because they're telling you, well, you're too old for this, you're too old for that. And I tell people there's no such thing. And just get rid of those family members, push them away, and do you. Because
yeah,
when you retire, like you said, a lot of people become sedentary and they end up transitioning because they're no longer living, they're just existing. So their chi, all of that becomes stagnant. Okay, so that's the first doctor. And what's the second doctor?
doctor is a sacral doctor, which is I call this doctor Doctor Feelgood.
Mm-hmm.
And this doctor here, we would eat orange, eat vegetables and fruits of the color orange to empower
Mm-hmm.
that chakra within us. Now, this doctor, Dr. Feelgood, it puts a lot of emphasis on your gut health.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order to truly trust our gut health, we have to take care of our gut. You ever
Mm-hmm.
hear people say, "Man, I had this gut feeling."
Yeah.
Yeah, that our gut is like our second brain.
Mm-hmm.
In order to make proper and good decisions, we have to take care of our gut.
Mm-hmm.
When we're not taking care of our gut and our gut is all clogged up, we're not going to make good decisions in life.
Very true.
And get a colon cleanse. I always recommend everyone to get at least one colon cleanse in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's it. I did it in my 50s, and trust me, it's an experience. It's definitely an experience. So yeah, so we have to really be able to trust our gut. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that really matters a whole great deal. And 90% of our feel good hormone, serotonin, I'm sure you know it, you're a professor, is in our gut.
Mm-hmm. And
90%.
I'm sorry, the microbiome is something that people now are paying attention to that's in the gut. So it's true. And you've heard that life and death begins in the colon, which is connected to the gut. So that's all true.
Yeah, so I try to do things to make myself feel good.
Yes,
Um, because when you're happy, you live longer,
yes,
you're healthier,
yes.
um, and it's like people who stay in the mindset of depression, anger, sadness, they don't age well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it makes our immune system, it weakens our immune system as well,
Hmm.
and we're vulnerable to sicknesses and diseases when we're not happy, and when we're
Very
dealing
true.
with depression and sick. It just makes us vulnerable, mentally,
Yes.
spiritually, and physically. So the third doctor, oh, some things that I do, I like to give solutions. Some things I like to do to make me happy. I like to go on spiritual retreats. Um, I love traveling. I love power walking.
Mhm.
I love spending time with my family. Music, dancing, singing, ministering to people, to the homeless, uh,
Hmm.
just providing a service to people like you're doing now.
Hmm.
This is the fulfillment that makes us healthy, makes us
Hmm.
better people.
Hmm.
You ever been around and stay away from people that drain you too?
Oh, definitely.
Because that's a big one. That's a big one. I love people that have that halo, that aura around them.
Hmm.
And Sister Tahita is one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever
She's
I'm in her presence,
she's
she's
always
just
vibrant. Yeah.
like a light bulb. Tahita's like a
Hmm.
light bulb. And you
Hmm.
feel so much lighter when you're in her presence. Then
Yes.
you have these people you get around, they just so much, they drain so much from you.
Yeah.
And then when you leave their presence, you feel heavy,
Yes.
like you're carrying weights on your back. So yeah,
Yes.
we have to really be careful and mindful who we surround ourselves with.
Yes. Yes. So what's the third?
The third doctor
Doctor.
was the last doctor. There's four other doctors. I'm not going to mention them. You have to get the book. The third doctor is Doctor Sleep, the Crown Doctor,
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Mental Health.
Mm-hmm.
So what's important with this doctor? We have to get our proper sleep, of course, because in this sleep process, this is when our body heals itself.
Mm-hmm.
Our mind is the strongest and best healer.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting the proper rest that we should, it's going to make it very hard, difficult for our bodies to heal itself.
Mm-hmm.
So now, mental health is serious. I worked in the mental health hospitals, psychiatric hospitals, and professor, there's so many of our children filling up these hospitals.
Wow.
I mean, they're just filling them up, and I see parents every day dropping their children off to these hospitals. And the police, the judicial system, they're not helping. We see it every day of some child or adolescent or teenager getting shot by the police because they had a mental health crisis. So we need to find a way to educate these police officers on how they approach people that have these mental health challenges going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
But
the first,
there's a special number that you call rather than calling the police when someone is having an episode. I think
oh,
it's 811. It's a special number. So you
yeah,
don't
but
call 911 because the police are not equipped to handle mental health
parents don't know
challenges.
that. Parents don't know that. When an African American mother call, first thing they're gonna do is call 911. They
Mm-hmm.
don't, and they're scared to do it because they don't know if the police is coming out there to actually help or hurt
Mm-hmm.
in the situation. So it's we have to educate the parents and the public about this number that you're talking about because most times they're calling 911.
Mm-hmm. I've seen in Atlanta, I've seen the number on some billboards. I think it's really important for us as podcasters, educators, political activists to tell people the number, to have it as part of the dialogue, to say, if you or someone you know is having a mental health challenge, call this number, not 911, because 911 is putting you and your loved one in danger. But this number consists of trained workers who will come to de-escalate the system. I mean, the situation. So people need to know that number. I think, like I said, is 811. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's a number that we should always have at our disposal.
Definitely.
So you said sleep is important.
Yeah.
Sleep is really important because the body cannot heal itself and can't become rejuvenated if it doesn't have sleep.
True. Now, you know who birthed all these psychiatric hospitals? I say religion. And let me try to clarify, explain this. Through the three monotheistic religions we know of, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam,
Mm-hmm.
the story of the children, Adam and Eve, which were really Zakar, which means to remember, and Nikabel, who was a tribal leader. These children were presented with the commandment not to eat this particular fruit. So this being, I call it a being or their parents, because it couldn't have been the omniscient, all-knowing creator of the universe. Because
Mm-hmm.
all-knowing, omniscient don't ask questions like, where are you? Did you eat the fruit I told you not to eat?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this being all knowing don't ask those type of questions. So this I call it the parents of
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Eve. And I feel like the parents gaslighted and shamed their own children.
Mm. How
These are
so?
these because they were the caretakers on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
So you when you actually make a child doubt their own identity by giving them a conviction notice, kicking them out of the house, garden, um, that shamed them.
Mm.
So
So you're talking
we
about the Adam and Eve story.
yes, that's
Mm.
shame. So I call Adam and Eve because from a religious perspective, they teach that these two beings are responsible for the fall of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't teach that. I teach they're the heroes and sheroes of humanity because
Mm.
we're coming back to ourselves. We're Christ conscious now. We're,
Mm-hmm.
we're responsible. I mean, think about all the mental health challenges these two children were having at this time, feeling like they're worthless now. Where was the love and the forgiveness from their parents? Why they didn't teach their children about accountability and responsibility instead
Mm-hmm.
of kicking them out of the house?
Mm-hmm.
So we're being better parents now. We're not punishing anymore. We're teaching our children accountability,
Mm-hmm.
the spirit of accountability, the spirit of shared responsibility. These are the things that we're teaching our children now. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
advocate of rites of passage, Professor. I'm an advocate. I love rites of passage,
Yeah,
and
so do I. Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the problems our children don't have. They don't have accountability anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, in our culture, we had accountability for prenatal care, childbirth, adolescence, teenage childhood, all of that, even eldership, even when you transition, there's a rites of passage for it.
Yeah.
So we have to get back to the basics and teach our children and give our children a rites of passage
Mm-hmm.
because that's what's lost in our community. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this judge, Lynn Toller, she had the thing on TV, and I saw on Facebook somewhere. I know it was some podcast or something. She was saying that the prison system is filled with our people all because they couldn't control their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Something that simple. They
Mm-hmm.
couldn't control their emotions. And it's like they have this anger built up inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say they're not angry, they hurt. They're hurt. And we all
Mm-hmm.
know hurt people hurt people. We know that philosophy there. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to, I guess, the thing about black men, Professor, we don't like. I mean, I've done digested it and accepted it in my life now, but it took years for me to be able to accept another black man telling me something or trying to teach me or share something with me that
Mm-hmm.
that went against what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the ego complex that's in most black men. We don't want another black man trying to correct us when we're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It took for me to get beat down many times emotionally and spiritually before I started allowing other black men into my life to guide me in this journey, what we call life today.
Mm-hmm. But do you think that that may have had something to do with the physical absence of your father? That sometimes when we have these triggers, it's not the immediate situation. It goes back to something in our early childhood.
Of
So
course, of
feeling
course.
feeling abandoned and then have an adult black male tell you something, and your father was there on one level emotionally. Your mom made sure, it seems, well, he maintained contact, but he wasn't. there physically. So here it is, this man coming into your life to tell you something. And the unconscious, people say subconscious, but in clinical medicine, we say the unconscious mind just say, wait up, hold up. You were not here during my formative years. And so now because I'm looking at this clinically, and now you're here, black male. You don't see the black male who's actually there, but the mind then sees him as a father figure who was not there for you during your formative years. And now he's trying to coach you or school you. And you're like, no, I don't accept that. So that's how I see it. I see it as these struggles with our parents that have not been resolved. So even though he's coming to you to bring you information, not as a father, figure, but just as a black male who cares about you. The psyche doesn't see that. It sees a black male who is triggering my father issues, and I have to do this. So when we see that, I tell people to that's the ideal time to work it out in a therapeutic situation. Because what we do then is we go through life projecting our unresolved issues onto other people who are innocent, who are trying to help us. So that's just my that's my opinion.
How many black men are open to seeing a psychiatrist or a therapist?
Very few. But what's happening now, because the people that are being hung are black men. So black men are being traumatized. And I think that in some of the black male celebrities I know 4 or 5 years ago were telling black men that they need to be in therapy, that they need to receive outside help, because it's traumatic. You're dealing with racism, you're dealing with, in some case, joblessness, you're dealing with personal relationship issues. That's a lot. So if you're holding it inside and not expressing it to a trained therapist, not just a friend who's suffering and struggling like you, it compounds. And then what can happen is we then project that frustration out onto others. The black women, because I'm seeing a lot of this in some comments online, how black men are they see black women as the issue, and we are far from being the issue. And they are turning to these other women who have fetishes about them, who really don't respect them, and they're putting them on a pedestal. That's a major issue that I see, that they don't see the game that's being played on them. Because when you have when you fracture the community between black females and black males, that's a problem. And outside forces have been pushing this on them. And the younger men, not the older men, but the younger men are falling for it. And that's a real issue, that older black men are struggling with younger black men about that, because they have these negative images about black females that have been pushed on them from outside society, whereas the society sees the strength of the black women. That's why they went after them for those DC jobs. They know the backbone of the community is a female, the mitochondrial female, and they have been very successful with some young black men. And that to me causes a lot of concern, because they can't see the game. They can't see the programming. They can't see it. So mental health is a major issue for black men, black women too, but black women tend to talk to each other, and they tend to say, okay, sister, you're going on the wrong path with this. And a lot of them have older black women as mentors. Black men don't have that. It's like they're struggling because
we have that macho complex.
Yeah, they're struggling. And the ones who are out there are not telling them, brother, you know, that's not healthy what you're doing over here. They push them on to do things that they know are that would be self-destructive.
Why do you think that? Why do you think we do that?
Well, I think that Black men and men in general have not, men tend not to desire to be vulnerable. When you open up the heart chakra, because that's one of
Mm,
the doctors, when you open up the heart chakra and become vulnerable, that's not a safe place for Black men. Most Black men think that they need to provide, protect, and sometimes promote, but the younger ones are not promoting Black women, but provide and protect. They're wired that way. They're not wired to be open to emotional issues. They're not wired like that. It's inherent within the DNA, but then they take on a societal thing, the machismo thing, and it's killing them. Because rather than saying, I'm hurting, I need someone to talk through my frustrations. Then they end up in gangs and whatever, because that's like the substitute father. They end up in gangs because they have not had the role modeling that they truly desire. And what I've decided to do, when I see a young Black man out there and he's doing things, opening the doors for me and whatever, I bow to him and say, "Thank you, young king." The smile
mm,
comes from me ear to ear. You see a Black female who's young,
yeah,
"Thank you, young queen," ear to ear. I'm not going to tell you, well, you shouldn't. I just said, a queen does this, a king does. So they look at me and they see I'm reflecting what I'm telling them.
yeah.
So,
Identity is real important. I think that's the first and foremost thing. We need to get our identity back. You know,
yes. And what
that
you're doing, I think, is so important because you're a positive role model. They can listen, they would listen to me up to a point, but I'm not a male. They can see how your struggle, from living in a certain kind of environment, overcoming alcoholism, and now say there's a different way. I've walked those streets. You can tell them and they can listen to you because you've lived it and you've come out of it. So I think what you're doing is so, so, so important. With the Innocence Project, I think that's really important. But aside from that, just showing them, okay, this is how you should model your life. And I think what you're doing, King-Shon, is so amazing because you have a spiritual foundation.
thank you.
Yeah, these kids don't have, they're just trying, they're winging it. And I said, you have to have a spiritual foundation. You have to connect with the ancestors because they're going to give you your strength. But they're out here winging it. They don't have the role models. They don't have a spiritual foundation. They're not connected to the motherland. They're just out there. And this society is like predatory. It's preying on them and putting crazy stuff in their heads about Black females, and they're buying it because they don't know who they are. So what I'm doing now is telling people, let's just start by changing how we refer to them. You're not the HOE. You're not a dog. You're a young king. Let's stop using these terms. You're a young king. You're a young queen. How does a young king act? He doesn't act, he's not out here robbing or stealing or doing those other things. He's a Mansa Musa. Know your history. So that's what, because I used to teach in the prisons, you know, um, the law of attraction, and I taught them about Mansa Musa and all those. And I told them the reason why they don't know about him and they know about Jay-Z, because Jay-Z isn't doing anything positive in the community and he's showing his true colors.
Say
I've
more
been
about
talking
that.
about this for a while. So they're like, yeah, it's true. I said, name something he's done for us. And now he's come down saying, yeah, I'm anything you guys do, I'm going to undermine it. Mansa Musa was completely different, the wealthiest Black man on the planet. So much for me with my monologue. I want to have you give us some words of wisdom. I want you to give us your information again. How can people get in touch with you? How can people, if you have workshops, how can they learn about your workshops, your wonderful book, The Seven Doctors? So give us all that information. Wonderful. And it's on Amazon, correct?
Yes, it's in the jungle on Amazon.
Okay, so tell them what to look for on Amazon. Give them the title.
Seven Doctors. The book is called The Seven Doctors by King Sean, Shon. Freeman, King-Shon Freeman, Seven Doctors, is on Amazon. They can also reach me through my email, seven doctors whole health at Gmail.
Okay.
So, and whole health is with the WHOLE, health, seven doctors whole health at Gmail.
Okay. And do you have any workshops coming up?
Not right now. I'm just focusing on this power walk right now. After that, I will have the workshop, there will be a workshop after the power walk
Mhm.
at my apartment. So that's going to be on August the 9th. So
Okay.
right now, I'm just trying to get this power walk taken care of because it's been exhausting, and I can't wait till till that day arrives so I can go ahead and get everything finalized.
So give
Uh,
them the information again about the power walk.
yeah, the power walk is on August the 9th at
Mhm.
the West End Beltline in front of the pool hall from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to spend some time with Mama. Afterwards, we're going to go short
And
walks.
they will want to know who is Mama.
Mama Gaia, that's Mother Nature. We're gonna raise our hands to the sun, greet the sun. We're gonna hug the trees,
Mhm.
and we're gonna breathe in fresh air from Mama, the breath of
Yeah.
Mama, and meditate. And then we're gonna have some water at my place. So earth, sun, water, air. That's Mama.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So do you
You
have
know,
any flyers circulating about the event, or is it just
there's
word
a
of mouth?
flyer. I do have a flyer. I've been posting it on, all throughout social media.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know how I can get it. I mean, people could just contact me through my email, seven doctors whole health at
Mm-hmm.
Gmail, or like minded, which is LIGHT minded 1970 at Gmail. So
Mm-hmm.
either one of those emails, you can contact me and I can email the flyer to you.
Mm-hmm. But what would you like to leave with our listening audience?
Oh boy. Practice the seven doctors. Get in contact with the real you.
Mm-hmm.
The transformation of true awakening is not through retreats. It's not through reading a book. It's actually when everything's been taken and removed from you, and it's just you, the essence of you, looking you in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
True awakening, from my perspective. Get in touch with the real you, the essence of you. Look at yourself in the mirror and
Mm-hmm.
talk to the real you.
Mm-hmm.
And eat according to your chakras. If you having blood flow problems, that means you lack nitric oxide. Watermelon is a good thing to eat when you have blood flow problems.
Mm-hmm.
They made it a joke, professor, for us to eat watermelon back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, scientists have now found out that water flushes your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
It helps your blood vessels open up so the blood will flow naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So get out there, family, friends, and exercise, eat healthy, do whatever you need to do to make sure you're a happy person.
Mm-hmm.
Be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Be happy. Life is too short for you to be unhappy. So just be happy. Do the things that make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my message for you.
Well, I thank you so much. We've come to the close of this wonderful podcast. Thank you, King Sean Freeman, for
Thank you.
giving us those words of wisdom and telling people how to reconnect with Mother Gaia, the earth, and with each other by having these powerful walks like you're doing to give more people information about the works of Dr. Malachi York and also just about themselves, to having us reconnect like we used to back in the day through community. I think that's really important. And it's been such an honor and pleasure to have you on
Honor is mine. Thank
Great
you.
Lives on the Rise. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you were able to fit this into your schedule. And we are knowing that the walk on the 9th It's going to be powerful because this show will air before the walk so people can get the information and then get in touch with you. So again, thank you very much. And everyone, remember, great lives on the rise. Okay, and go to our website, go to our Facebook page, and also to our YouTube channel. We're on every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you miss us, you can always look at the replay. And we're also going to be uploaded to Spotify audio, Spotify video, LinkedIn, Facebook, and our YouTube channel, of course. When you go to our YouTube channel, you will see all the previous 102 episodes that you can click on any one of them and hear the great speakers. We have not repeated a speaker. That's an amazing feat. We're going into our third year, and it's because of you. Continue to support us. Go to our channel, Gray, Gray, Lives on the Rise. Click like and subscribe. And until the next time, beloveds, take care, be safe, and be well. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gray Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Scents, which is the product line of Oyende Enterprises. Jamila Scents is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Gray Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.